So, Andreas, to admit, you know how I reached you? This is the first thing. I was looking for the climbing club, and I went to Limassol LCC. It was closed, obviously,
Yes.
and I found on internet one number. I don't even know the person. He didn't pick up the phone. He messaged that he's out of Cyprus now, and I messaged,
Mike.
okay, look, but I really want to make an interview about climbing because it's fantastic sport, and I know many people doesn't know. They don't know many people that does that, so they cannot get this feeling. And he said, okay, I know the guy. Contact this guy, Andreas, and he just sent me the number. I don't know whom I'm texting.
Yes, it's Mike. It's one of my students. He's an instructor, but he moved 15 days ago to Slovenia.
Ah.
So he just moved to a different country.
So can you imagine how lucky I am? He didn't turn off his Cyprus number.
Yeah. So he. Otherwise, you have done it with Mike. Amazing guy. So.
Yeah, now after what I did today, I understand that people that are involved in climbing are amazing. This is like a community. Even just some kids who came, or this couple that just left, they all are so positive, and I guess they have some special vibe from this sport.
Yes, it's. I mean, 20 years ago when I started climbing, I thought the same. First day I started climbing was like, wow, everybody is so good and so nice, and well, of course, over the year things balance. And to be honest, there are good people and bad people everywhere.
Like everywhere, of course.
But it's not a competitive sport. There are no competitions on the rocks, so unless some people want to prove something from themselves, everybody else is just go, go, go. They are happy for the success of other people. And I think this is how it should be with all sports. And I think we are lucky with climbing. We have this. And in climbing, this is promoted by the fact that you are not alone.
Mm-hmm.
If you climb, your partner is holding the rope, so it's holding your life.
Exactly.
So it creates this bond between climbers. So it's trust. So we trust each other and we climb with each other. And it promotes this nice feeling that you are describing, positive vibes.
You can say that it's a team sport.
Yeah.
Because you're not alone climbing.
Yes.
It's mostly effort on you, but there is another person who is helping you out. You know, he can motivate from down there. He can cheer up, and he also holds the rope. If it's almost like a team sport.
Sometimes you feel the energy. I do for example that if somebody is bored belaying me, I can feel it through the rope. You know, it's like the energy is transferred through the rope. If he is enthusiastic and everything is perfect, you can feel that as well.
The rope connects people.
I think so. I mean,
it's amazing how it sounds.
I talk about it to different people. There are more people. There are people that are feeling that this rope is just. It's like a cable. It's an energy.
You become one with the rock and with the rope.
Yeah, and your partner. You know, it's because eventually the reality is in climbing. If your partner makes a mistake, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Climbing. So it's more important. It doesn't matter how a good climber you are. The most important job is done by the person who is belaying, who is holding the rope, who is giving you the rope and keeps you safe. And that's where training comes into climbing. And many people, they neglect this and they say, oh, it's easy to belay, and they go, and all the accidents we have in Cyprus, which they are not many, happen from people that they didn't pass through training.
Yeah, so they just went on their own head, you know, just doing...
With friends. Yes, I did the course some years ago. Come, I'll show you. Well, failure in climbing it's an accident. That's the thing.
Oh, come on motorcycles, on horse riding, whatever. You can fall off the horse, break something, you can fall off the motorcycle, it can fall on you, whatever. You can walk on the street and you can fail. If you do not prepare yourself, you learn to walk. Yes. That's one of the first things you learn, to walk. If you wouldn't learn, then you wouldn't walk.
it is this. I mentioned this because I come from a training background. I'm an instructor. I teach climbing for many years now, and I was very lucky to be in the training panel of UIAA, the International Federation of Mountaineering and Climbing. And I travel across the world and I teach climbing. And I teach climbing to poor countries now, to countries that they don't have the knowledge, to India, to Mongolia, we go to so many countries now and we teach. And we offer our service of teaching. And it's amazing, but it is difficult to persuade people that training is needed. That training is a thing that everybody should get when they go into this sport. And we're getting there, but it is an issue in our sports. People think that I don't need training to go to the mountains. And because climbing is not just climbing rocks, climbing is about mountaineering as well. Climbing is part of mountaineering. So we start from climbing, but we all evolve into the mountains. I climbed to many high ranges in the world. I mean, I went to the Alps, to Caucasus area in Russia. I went to the Himalayas, to the Indian Himalayas, to
all over
Nepal,
the world.
Himalayan. I forgot the name now. Yes.
It's like most parts of the world.
So you travel and you climb mountains most of the time, and
is it sharing experience with other climbers as well?
Yeah,
you become a part during the climbing with other community, with other country climbers, and you share experiences as well, right?
Yes, that's what we are trying to do now, because the difference between mountaineering is prestige of the country. So it started like, who is the first person to summit Mont Blanc in Alps? Who is the first country to summit Everest? Who is the first country? So it was competition in the mountains. And there is still some competition in mountaineering. Many countries, they think that it's a conquer to do. And they give so much value into that stuff. But we are trying to avoid all that now. We are trying to, it's a shared experience. It's human spirit.
To get best out of it.
Yes.
And about the training, that's just an effort you have to put in the thing you would like to do and get the best out of it. You know, especially today when I was climbing, that was the first time, and I feel amazing. That's wow. I've done a lot of sports, and this is something different. And when you told me that you have to climb with the legs, not with your hands, that made relief to myself, and I could do more. And if you wouldn't say what I want to say now is that if I wouldn't know the tip which I received from you, I wouldn't climb what I climbed. You know, and these small things. It's just one sentence. Put an effort more on the legs rather than hands, and you can do more. And if you get more of these tips, you get enjoyment out of it, rather than just putting the muscles and all your energy out as much as you can and then stop in the middle and go down.
Yeah.
You live in a van here in the mountains during the weekend, and you just invite me to stay at the tent so we can climb in the morning. You know, you're living a life that most of the people are just saying during the childhood or elderly years, I want to live in a van, I want to be an adventurer. You know, most of the people had this in their mind at least once per their lifetime. And you're actually, and I had a goosebumps as soon as, oh my god, no way, I'm gonna try this out. So tell me about this fact. How did you came to this, first of all, why climbing? And second of all, how did you came to this van life and enjoying what you do?
Well, I have a curse. I can't stay in one thing for long. It's since my childhood. I've done almost all the sports, and the moment you learn everything, then you start to get bored and do the same and same again. And we live in an island that you can do everything.
Exactly.
So I almost did everything. And climbing was something that I was saying, no, climbing is dangerous, because you see from the movies, and it was the only thing that I was, let's say, afraid to do. And suddenly one day I saw an advertisement in newspaper that they teach climbing, and I said, come on, if you don't try it, how do you know if it's scary or not? So I'll go and try. And the moment I try, I got hooked. I gave every other sport and I just concentrated on climbing. It's a challenge that it never ends. You always have the next challenge and the next challenge and harder routes to climb. And because it's such a demanding sport, if you want to do it all the time and become good at climbing, it develops into a lifestyle. So I spend most of my life in tents. I will travel at night, so I won't miss the morning climbing, set my tent, get up in the morning, eat breakfast, climb until I'm dead, and then sleep in the tent, do it as much as possible. And it's so hard to live in a tent all the time. And we are getting older as well. When you are young, you don't care. But the older you get, you start to look a bit about your comfort and
You become smarter as well.
So I said, one day maybe I'll buy a van and I'll stay in the van. Why do I have to carry all these tents and get in the rain, and then I have to go home, dry the tents, and I have a very small apartment. It was really difficult to do the maintenance of all that stuff. So I asked one of my friends, if you know somebody that has a van that is in good mechanical condition, let me know. And at that time I saved some money for the dentist. And he called me and said, I have a good van. If you are interested, how much is it? I said, 4,000 euros. I have 4,000 for the dentist. Leave the dentist, I'll buy the van. So
this is what passion does to us. We just don't care about anything else.
So I bought the van, and slowly with a friend he's a carpenter, so he did all the professional carpenter work inside, and I did everything else, plumbing, electricity. So it's super fun. Takes time, but it's super fun.
Also, this procedure of building something, it's not only the fact that you have it now and you can live in it, but also this experience that you actually build an apartment for yourself on the wheels.
And you build it as it suits you.
Yeah.
Many people will say, well, why did you do that? And it's not very space economic or what else. I mean, that's good for me. I just want to have a bed, and I don't want to build my bed, and I want a bed to sleep. This is the most important thing for me, sleeping.
Of course, you have to get back your power for next day climbing.
Yeah, so now it's sleeping and coffee. So if I have these two, then I'm fine.
But so you now on this van, you are coming every weekend after your
I feel very lucky because with my job I can work 2 or 3 days a week, and the rest I spend them climbing or in the mountains. So the van gave me the opportunity to do what I like. I can go to the mountains at night, sleep, get up in the morning, do training, whatever it is, cycling, or I love cycling, so I love mountains, uphill. I like suffering. And then when I finish my training, I will have a shower, dress, and go to work. And I can go to work at 10 or 11. It's not a problem for me. So I can do that every day with the van. Before it was difficult because you have to get up in your flat, you have to travel there, train, then come back, have a shower. By the time you finish, you don't want to go to work.
So you figured out the best logistics in your schedule, how to do the most, the thing you love.
Yeah, so I spend so much time now in the mountains, so much time on the rocks. I can sleep by the beach. I can do whatever I want. I can enjoy my life.
I'll give you 5.
Took time to do that, but I feel so happy that I have done it.
Superb.
And we are humans, and you never know for how long it's gonna last. So I'm enjoying it the moment, and it's super nice.
Beginners, and also for the families, from what age you can start, and what's the best age, and for what age is this sport?
Well, this climbing, the advantage of climbing is that you can climb until you die.
Mm.
There is no end to it. I know 80, 85-year-old guys that they are climbing. And I have a lot of clients that they come to Cyprus and they hire me to take them climbing. So at that age, the difficult part is you need to take care of your body. So you don't want to have a big fall, let's say, and break a leg. So what they do, they want somebody to climb up, put the rope for them, and they climb in the safety like you did today.
Mm-hmm.
There is no fall, it's just a sport, it's an athletic thing. You just challenge yourself to go up without the danger of having falls like
Having a
elite
risk.
falls that we have as youngs. But if you take it to the very youngs, like 7, 8 years old, that we train in the gym as a federation, the youngers, they know what they are getting into and they accept responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
They learn to put themselves on risk. They know how to assess the risk and they develop their own timing on how much to risk while they are climbing. So some youngsters, they just go in and they want to do lead climbing. Lead climbing is what I did in the morning, where you climb and there is a risk of having 3 or 4 meters fall if you make a mistake or if you can't do the fall. But some others, they just want to progress through top rope, gain their strength,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly get into that responsibility. So I see our kids maturing so much through climbing, and we take them out, they climb on rocks, and I think it's one of the best sports. It's not just athletic, it's mental as well. So people need to handle danger, handle their mind, because most of the times danger is in their mind. There's no danger, but they think that there is danger. Oh, I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die, but I'm gonna die. And they need to learn that no, they are not. So they train their mind, they train their body. It's an amazing sport.
And it helps them in life in general,
Yes.
not only in sport. They grow up faster in their mind. That's
And you see today that the harder the road everybody has their limits, but if you get into your limit, then you need to push. You need to overcome yourself to do the move, and that teach you things in life. It's the same as in our society. You find difficulty, if you don't push through that difficulty, then you will just stay there. You're not gonna progress.
I loved how you said today when we were going down the hill. How did you call that correctly? When we were going to
Abseiling.
Abseiling.
Yes.
Sliding down. When you said prepared us mentally that if you'll be scared in the middle of the abseil, we'll just stop. I'll talk to you. I'll calm you down.
Yes.
You overcome your fear and you'll proceed.
Yes.
So this is like a mental game. This is amazing.
Because we did a 50 meters abseil. For a beginner, I wouldn't do that. I'll be honest, if someone came climbing first day and told me I want to do that abseil, I would say no. I did that today. I thought that you will be comfortable enough, but I prepared myself. If you panicked, then I need to do something about it. So I took stuff with me to be prepared about that. Because the moment you look down, everything is so small, and you don't know when the panic will come.
Yeah, but if there is a panic, there is a solution how to overcome.
Because the panic is it's in our mind. You're safe. You're on the ropes, and there is so much safety in climbing. So there is no real danger if you know what you're doing. So this is what I was saying. I will talk you through. So we will solve your mind problem.
Okay, so there are, as I understand, climbing sport, abseiling sport, and okay, now
Yes.
I'm a rookie in this, so you'll just correct me. And as I understood, wall climbing in the gym.
Yes.
So what's the difference and how people should start? Just in a couple of words, so we understand and make it
Well, a
clear.
bit of history is that humans started to go to the mountains. So there was no climbing. But they realized that going to the mountains, I have these huge faces that I need to climb, and I don't know how to climb them.
Mm-hmm.
So they realized that they should practice on the ground before they go on the mountains.
Mm.
So that's how climbing started. It wasn't a sport by itself. But people realized that I don't need to go to the mountains and suffer to enjoy climbing. So they started only climbing. And then the French came and say, you know, we can put bolts on the walls and make it safe.
Mm-hmm.
And it developed into sport climbing. This is what we did today is called sport climbing,
Mm-hmm.
which means that it's more or less a sport. It's as safe as it can get, and it's more athletic. And we have adventure climbing now, where you go into phases with no protection, and you place your own protection, and that's a bit more dangerous, and that is called adventure climbing. So we are trying to protect both.
Mm-hmm.
And then gyms developed because you need to train for rocks.
Yeah.
So if you are a purely sport climber and you want to climb hard roads, you can't just climb twice a week. You need to climb almost every day. So the gyms came to support that need. So now we have gyms where we go and we climb and we train during the weekdays as well.
So gyms are okay. If there is someone who is not planning to do adventure climbing, he just wants to go fit,
Yes.
use it as a fitness, and also have more adventure in this fitness procedure he's planning
Yes.
to overcome, because it's also painful for those who never done sports. So they say, okay, the regular gym is boring for me, or I want something else. So he's deciding to do something more exotic and go to climb the walls in the gym. So this is
Yes.
something for people who actually just want to get fit.
Yeah, not
as well.
many people. Actually, if you look at it globally, only 15% of climbers who go to the gyms go outside. The rest of the climbers is just gym climbers.
Mm.
And the competitions we have in the world is for gym climbers. So if you look at IFSC, which is the federation responsible, IFSC,
Okay.
International Federation of Sport Climbing, and the sport now is in the Olympics. It's indoor climbing. It's not outdoor. It's not rocks. It's man-made structures with problems and hard climbs to climb.
With obstacles.
So you just lead climb with rope, and it's a hard route. So there's only one winner,
Mm-hmm.
and there is small boulder problems like 6 to 10 moves, which are super hard.
Yeah.
And whoever do the moves wins.
I've seen a couple of people
So
made videos of how they're climbing. That's even extreme. They're just pulling themselves up with one finger, or holding with one finger, then one leg, and jumping from one obstacle to, or how you call it, rock.
yeah, well, route setters, that's the people who set routes for the gyms and routes for the competitions. They are having a hard time to put hard enough problems for humans,
Okay.
because with training we became so strong and so good that everything they will put, they will climb them. So they go into these hard one finger moves or these volumes with no holds on them, and they just move the body through them to go up, more like parkour or something.
Parkour, yeah.
It's because they need to stretch that difficulty. We get so good at climbing, and I think it's so natural for us to climb as humans. I think we climb when we are apes. We were climbing, like we develop into humans, yes, but I don't think we left that history behind. If you leave a kid, the first thing he will do is climb.
Yeah, that
He
feels even natural when you're
Yeah.
doing that. First time you start to climb, and it's okay. When we were kids, we were also climbing the trees, and
Yes. And without protection,
exactly.
just go up the tree, fearless.
Yes.
It's the same. I mean, it's a natural thing to do, and it's an amazing sport, I think, to be exposed to. And you don't need to get hooked like me, and want to climb every possible opportunity. Most of the climbers in Cyprus, they climb once or twice a month. I mean weekend. And so they will come to the rocks, they will camp, climb 2 days and go back. So they have the experience of camping with friends. We don't have a fire now because it's summer, so
Yeah, it's
we
risky.
don't have that thing. But in the winter, you have your fire, you cook on the fire,
Amazing.
and because it gets dark very fast,
Mhm.
5:30 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, you have a long time to stay by the fire with friends, telling stories. And
How much fun we can have here, huh?
yes.
So many adventures and so many of them still to try. So this is for those who settled here, let's say. They can choose different sports, there are gyms, they can come and climb the rocks. What about tourists? For example, if they never tried climbing before, but they want to have an activity when they're coming to Cyprus for relaxation or other way, if there are professionals who have been climbing in different countries, what's in it here on the island for them, for these two categories? Complete
Well,
rock
we are a paradise, I think, for mid-range and beginners. If you are a professional climber, we don't have very hard routes for professional climbers. But if you are an amateur climber and you climb mid-ranges up to 8A, 8B, it's fine for climbing here. So the advantage is for tourists that if you are a climber, you can come, climb in the morning, and you go to the beach in the afternoon if you are in the summer.
It's just a question of half an hour drive maximum. You can
Maximum half an hour, and you are on the beach, and you swim, you recover, you have a beer, and you get ready for the next day climbing. And we have a lot of sectors. We have sectors close to the beach, we have sectors in the mountains, so they can enjoy everything. We have nice hiking as well. So on recovery days when they don't climb, they can hike in the mountains, they can try other sports. We have so many other sports. And especially for Europeans, because the weather there is mostly, it's unpredictable, it rains. Here it never rains.
exactly.
The weather is so stable, so you can come and you'll be sure that you are gonna be climbing every day.
Yeah, this
That's the
destination is
advantage.
good for them. They can come throughout the year.
Yes.
If all other places they visited, they can maybe go once or two times per year when the season is on. Here you can come any time of the year.
Except I will say January, February. But there are people who say that you can ski in the mountains, go climbing, and go to the beach at the same day.
Yes, this is island with the secrets in it.
Yeah, so I know climbers that they do this. They ski in the morning, go climbing, and then go to the beach. Because February, some days are really hot, so you can go to the beach. And the water is not so cold.
Yeah, exactly. But those people who are coming and they are not climbers at all, they are rockies and maybe they've done one time in their life some climbing in other countries, but they're coming here to have a relaxation and they decide to, okay, let's go climb. Is it also something people can experience?
Yes, it's something that they can experience, and it's not very common. But I will advise, if they want to get into the Cyprus Federation internet site and find the recognized instructors and just book one of those with those instructors to come out and have a safe day on the rocks. Because as I said, there are many people who might say, oh, I'll take you climbing.
Yeah.
But especially if you're a beginner and you don't know in what danger you are involved, it's better if you get a qualified person.
So you can find them if you go to the Cyprus Federation webpage. All right.
It's the Cyprus Federation webpage, and now we have our first mountain guide person, who is an IFMGM mountain guide. He's not often in Cyprus, but they can hire him as well. He is a fully professional mountain guide, so his job is to take people out to the mountains and to the rocks. So when Kyriakos is here, they can hire him to go out with him. So there are options now. It's very difficult to become an IFMGM, and we only have one Cypriot that have done that. We're proud of him, and so there are options now to hire people.
Yeah, Cyprus is quite developed in this sport. There
Yeah.
are gyms, there are amazing mountains, rocks to climb, professional trainers. What else you want to start the sport?
Yes.
Small island, but so many talented people.
And it's a young sport here. We started in Cyprus. The federation was created in 2000. So we're only
2000?
yes.
So it's only 20-year-old?
We're only 20-year-old.
Young, I would say.
Yes, we're in our teenage. Because yes, now it's stage in climbing where everything is developing and the climbers trying to introduce their ideas, and it's this friction between us. I believe this and that is, which is amazing because that's how new ideas come and everything is developed. And we are teenagers now, and
Yeah, but developing really fast.
yes, that's a good thing about it.
Superb, superb.
One thing that we didn't mention is about the environment. So I think that it's always worth mentioning the environment. Climbing it's an environmental activity because you learn to live in nature. So even, I mean, I see snakes all the time. Snakes see us. We get accustomed to it. We don't have a, with snakes, they don't attack you, or wildlife doesn't. We learn to live in harmony with everything, and animals learn to live in harmony with us. So we try to promote this, and when we bring young kids to the rocks, and we expose them into the night, spending a night in tent, people usually are afraid of the wildlife. What will happen if I am in the tent? I'm not protected enough, or what if a fox come, or what if there are so ridiculous fears if you live in the city. But if you come climbing and you learn to live in harmony with nature, then we start to promote this environmental aspect, and they learn why they should respect. Because if you see a viper in the wild, you will learn to respect it because it's so beautiful. It's his environment, and you learn to respect animals.
And they do not attack if you are attacking them.
So all this learning is through. We trying to introduce all that. The birds that they are nesting, don't mess with the birds. We try to not to harass birds when they are. Is the season that they are lay their eggs and they have their chicks, and we'll teach people to even enjoy that. I mean, we enjoy the young crows now that they are so curious about us, and they will come close to check it out and see. And
Yeah, we were going upsailing today, and Ariadna saw the chicks on the way up down. It's amazing.
I didn't know that they were there, so
yeah,
I saw them as well, and so we just went off. I mean, now if you don't touch them, if you don't harass them, birds learn that they are just passing by. It's not a problem as long as we don't spend all the day there, so that we don't give them the chance to feed them. So we learn to be sensitive about stuff like that, and we are trying to promote this in the law, in the government, that we want to protect what we are doing. Of course, we are affecting, but we are trying to give back what we are.
Yeah, this is how it should be, a harmony.
So we're gonna clean the sectors. We're gonna plant trees. We are gonna feed the birds, for example, if there is a season that they can't eat. We are doing stuff. And
amazing stuff, I would say.
And it's good. It's another aspect of our sport, and it's an aspect that we are trying to expose our kids into that, and all the climbers.
Amazing, Andreas. I would say you're not only the climber, you're an inspiration. That's superb. It was a pleasure just speaking to you, having time here. I really hope that people after this talk understand how interesting and how many experience they can get just coming and climbing the rock.
I hope you will come back and climb again.
Oh, I already want to. Thanks a lot. Thank you.